Well, hello everyone. So I was just shutting my door because my little doggy was trying to come in, and I have this really weird love for hearing the like washing machine and dryer going. It's very akin to my feeling when the dishwasher's running and there's a candle lit and there's a breeze blowing it. Like there's just something so homey, and maybe it's like, I don't know, I'm just like having a psychological moment with myself. Like, why do I love it so much? I'm like, I feel like it must be a childhood thing. Like my mom would be there like cleaning the house and stuff, and it was just like comforting. Also, I'm using my Villains mug from the Disney, like you can buy it online, like on Disney site. I feel like I'm not talking about anything, guys. Have I even started this video? Hello everyone, I'm Jessica. Welcome to my channel. I feel like I should just start this over. Dang it, Jessica. So today, we are doing a speed reviews video. I've been doing these now for a little while. They were inspired by Nicole Cutler's speed reviews she does. I love that so many other people are doing them on YouTube too. They're like my favorite video to watch. The whole idea is that, you know, as a YouTuber that talks about makeup, I do try a decent amount of things each month or two. A lot of times they're in first impressions, or I just kind of mention them briefly that I'm trying it out. And then you never really get to hear about a lot of them again, unless they're like an absolute favorite and I talk about them in a favorites video or something like that. So this is a really good way to kind of scoop together all of the products I've been trying and give you more finalized reviews, but really quickly because we have a lot to talk about. Hence the name Speed Reviews. Let's dive in. No more rambling, Jess. I'm so sorry. What? I just saw a truck roll up and it says bin scrub, and it's garbage bin and dumpster cleaning. How do I... It looks like my neighbor must have signed up for it. I want this. This is like Shark Tank ideas. Like that's one of those undesirable activities that like no one wants to clean out their big garbage bin, but it needs to be cleaned out sometimes. I'm wearing a lot of this stuff on my face today, so you'll get to see what it looks like in natural light kind of alone for some of it. Some of it I've mentioned in other videos, so you've probably seen. Let's start with some of the things I'm actually wearing on my face. So one that I have grown to really, really like, and it kind of took me by surprise because I didn't expect to like it, is the Maybelline Dream BB Fresh. I like BB creams, but I also do like coverage. And I feel like a lot of these BB creams that have maybe been around for a while, back when I tried them, assuming it was like the same one, I don't really know. But back when I tried them, let's say 4 or 5 years ago, I didn't really like BB creams then. So I didn't like any of them that I tried. Well, now that I've kind of grown to enjoy it, I was excited to try this, I guess, again. The shade I've been wearing more often than not is 110. I kind of toggle between 110 and 120, like if I have a little self-tanner on or whatever. But here's my thing. I feel like since a lot of us aren't wearing makeup maybe as much because you're at home and you just don't feel like it, or even when you go out, you're wearing a mask and you know it's not gonna stay on very well, this is like the perfect thing. And that's why I've been reaching for it so much the past few weeks, because it has a little bit of coverage, light to medium, certainly more coverage than like the Glossier foundation stuff, whatever it's called, that has like no coverage. This definitely has more coverage than that, but it's not gonna be a foundation. If you like medium to full, this is not gonna be for you. I'll show you a clip of what this looks like absolutely on its own. And this was after 2 layers, and I applied it with my sponge just because I like applying with a sponge. Obviously that shears it out a little bit, so you could use your finger. I don't know about a brush with this. I feel like it might streak around a bit with a brush. But I just think it's comfortable. It makes my skin look healthy. It gives a little bit of coverage. So even if I'm just doing that, maybe a little concealer and some like liner and mascara, I feel so much more put together for the day. Here's one I just feel meh about. It's the Burt's Bees Mattifying Powder Foundation. I would not consider this a powder foundation. It really performs more for me as a just regular powder. So like I would typically use a regular powder in my T-zone to kind of soak up some of that oil. And so I used this today, and I couldn't get it to come across on the camera, but I just feel like it really looks powdery. Really, really powdery. And if I'm gonna go that route where I'm like gonna make my skin look powdery, I'd rather use a translucent powder that's gonna really prolong the wear time of my makeup and mattify, you know what I'm saying? And I didn't feel like this had the coverage level of like powder foundations that I actually really, really love, like the one from IT Cosmetics and the Makeup Forever one. So I feel like this is one of those products that's kind of in limbo. Yes, it mattifies, it's okay, it's not like a horrendous powder, but it definitely gives that powdery look. And I just feel like even already an hour after applying this, I feel like my nose already looks a little bit patchy, and like parts of it are mattified and parts of them aren't. And so It's just not the best I've ever used. I definitely could see myself decluttering this in the future. And keep in mind, my skin type really is pretty darn normal. I skew dry like in the winter, but generally I have a pretty normal skin type and it still doesn't really work well for me. This one is an interesting one and it keeps going out of stock everywhere. So I was excited to finally see it in stock on Ulta's site and actually get it. This is from CeraVe and it's their hydrating sunscreen. It has an SPF of 30. It's for your face. I really like this. It has a tint. I know it's definitely deeper than my skin tone, like when I put it on, but it blends out. And again, it's got like a slight bit of coverage, almost like a BB cream. If you have oily skin, no way you will hate this. But if you have normal to dry, this is a beautiful sunscreen. Again, kind of like the Maybelline Dream BB Fresh. These kind of look similar on the skin because this does almost perform like a tinted moisturizer. So just something to keep in mind. I don't think you necessarily need both. And this is definitely, they both have SPF of 30, but this is meant to be like your facial SPF. I don't ever depend on makeup for my SPF coverage because I just feel like you'd have to put a lot thicker of a layer on to get that. So I really have been enjoying this. The other thing I want to say is if you're going to be in like high humidity where you're going to be sweating a lot, because this is a little bit more dewy, I don't think this is going to be ideal. Like if you're down in Florida where the humidity is like 1,000,000% all the time, I don't know, because unless you have super dry skin, it really does look hydrating and I feel like it would like slip and slide a little bit. I call this speed reviews. I'm not sure that I'm actually going very quickly though, am I? Here's one I really am enjoying. This is the Maybelline Lifter Gloss. So I now have 2 shades. I finally bought another one. So the first shade I had was Silk, and these I thought were supposed to be plumping. They are not. They're hydrating, they have hyaluronic acid in them. They're comfortable, they're pretty, they're not sticky. They're just totally my cup of tea when it comes to glosses. And so this is the shade Silk. It was the original one I bought. I like this shade, but I definitely like this one better. And if I only owned one, this is the one. This is the shade Moon. And it's got a little bit more, I don't want to say glitter because I don't want to scare you away because it's not like glitter chunks, but it has this shimmer to it that just makes your lips look full and just hydrated. That's the one in Moon that I'm talking about. So that's what I have on my lips. I do have something under it we'll talk about in just a sec, but it's gorgeous and I'm testing it out as a dupe for the Fenty Gloss Bomb in Fussy. I'd heard some of you guys say it was a dupe, and I do have a dupes video coming up here in the next month or two as I kind of finalize some of my dupes. And there's the one in Fussy and there's the Maybelline Lifter Gloss in Moon. Very, very, very similar. This is exciting. This is an exciting find. If you are into dupes, you're wanting to save money, I found a lot. My recent one I did, I can link in the eye and down below if you want to check it out after this, because I found a lot of really good dupes for high end and a lot of them were like better. So the other lip product I am wearing, and I'm going to show you what this looks like alone in a sec. This is the L'Oreal Color Reach Plump and Shine. I have it in 107 Coconut Plum. I want to try this again in a different shade. This is just a little bit too light for my pretty pigmented lips. So if you have more pigmented lips, I think this shade might be a little light for you. But the formula is really nice. It definitely gives that slight tingle. It's not overwhelming, but that slight plumping tingle. I don't know that it really, really plumps, but I do like that kind of feeling, you know? It's a comfortable formula. It's got a slight bit of like sheen to it, but it's not crazy slippery. Like it's not nearly as slippery as the other L'Oreal ones in this packaging that I love. I can't think of what they're called. Colory Shines. I love those as well. This is definitely stays in place a little bit better and it gives that tingle. So if you like that, I think you'd like these. I know myself, I will eventually get another shade, but I want to be like in person and like actually look at them. Remember the days when we could swatch testers? Although really I can only do that at like Ulta because like my grocery store where I go, a store near me called Meijer, they didn't have testers or anything. So anyway, okay. I'm curious, what is your go-to place to buy drugstore makeup? I feel like everyone has like, some people go always to CVS or Rite Aid or Walgreens, or like for me at Meijer, they have a killer drugstore makeup section. So like that, and they usually have the new launches, like that is almost exclusively where I get drugstore makeup unless I buy it like on Ulta's site. I'm curious, what is your go-to place to like actually buy drugstore makeup? Next up is this mascara. Okay, it's from Hourglass. It's their Unlocked mascara. They did send this to me in PR. So this is, as far as I understand it, a tubing mascara. I mean, it definitely is. I don't love the brush, but I feel like for tubing mascaras, you almost have to have this kind of a brush. Every one I've tried typically does have this style. So it works really well. It is very, very similar to the Thrive Cosmetics one. If you've tried that, I really like it. I don't know that a tubing mascara will ever be my favorite because I never feel like it looks good, but if you really look close, it kind of clumps some lashes together, even if I like take a brush comb and kind of brush through it after. And so it adds that volume and stuff, but I definitely like more of like a fanned out look like I would get with the L'Oreal Lash Paradise or the Charlotte Tilbury Legendary Lashes Volume 2. Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. And so I don't feel like I can get that with these, but I do like them. And you know what, y'all? If you're needing something slightly waterproof without actually being waterproof, this is a great option. When I use waterproof mascaras, I feel like I start losing lashes. With this, it's waterproof, sort of. The only thing you need to remove a tubing mascara is warm water. And it does have to be warm because like if I start washing my face with cold water, it doesn't budge. And so like if you're at a water park or something and you're wanting to wear mascara, this works pretty well. So just to make myself clear, because I feel like I didn't really give a final thought on that mascara, I like it. I'll use it up. I don't see myself buying it again at the $29 price point. I just don't think, I think it's good. I just like other ones better. So here's one I don't really want to try anymore. So I'm trying to remember what my initial thoughts on this were, but this is the Physicians Formula Natural Defense Concealer. And this is why it's important to do these like updated speed reviews, because I feel like I've gone so up and down with this concealer. My final thoughts on it are that it's a little bit too thick. And so even if I put a little bit, as I'm spreading it out like on my under eye with like a brush or something, it just keeps spreading. So you need a very little bit, but it's just not quite as easy to blend in as so many other concealers I love. I really like the Benefit Cakeless Concealer. I know that's more expensive than this, but that's one of my favorites. It blends in so fast. I like the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer. This reminded me of the Benefit one because it's a little bit thicker. This is definitely thicker. And so I think I've decided I don't love it. I'm not ready to get rid of it yet. I'll use it a couple more times, but I'm kind of at that point where I'm like, I don't enjoy putting this on and I don't have a million years to be blending in my concealer for 5 minutes. So for me, that's like an instant strike. So here are two brushes I love from EcoTools. I was like on a few-year hiatus where I just like forgot about EcoTools. And they really do make good brushes, but you know, when you feel like you've already got brushes you like, you don't really feel like you need to branch out. Well, I tried these in the past few months. This one's way newer. This one I've had for a while. This one's way cleaner. This one is not. Anyway, this one is the EcoTools Blending and Bronzing Brush, and this is gorgeous for blending cream, bronzer, and blush. I think bronzer's even better because it is a little bit bigger, but it's just so good for it because it's got that duo fiber nature to it and it's a little bit rounded. It works so well. If you feel like you have tried cream bronzer and you just can't quite get the application down, I really think you'd like this brush. I think it does it so seamlessly. And this is like my favorite. It's also from EcoTools and it is their bronze brush. I've been using this for bronzing powder. I use it with my L'Oreal Lumi Bronze It Powder, my favorite. I used it today with the Charlotte Tilbury Bronzer we're gonna talk about in a sec. And this, it just blends everything in so quickly, so seamlessly. I feel like it has been, I don't know that I've ever found a powder bronzer brush that I felt did a good job, ever. This is the very first one in my, how many years? Oh my gosh, 7 years of doing YouTube. Oh my gosh, it's been so long, that I felt like it actually seamlessly applies it. This is incredible. I really should probably buy a second one so I have it because I would be brokenhearted if they ever discontinued this. Also, the handle on this is so pretty. So speaking of the bronzer I'm wearing, this is the Charlotte Tilbury Bronzer. I did just do a Charlotte Tilbury best and worst kind of full face video. I have a lot from the Charlotte Tilbury line. Pretty much all of it I bought with my own money. This one, this is the shade number 2. I think it's good. I don't think it's bad. I just don't think it's worth the money. I feel like, again, like the L'Oreal Lumi Bronze, and if you like a radiant bronzer, sorry, I'm like having a coughing fit. The e.l.f. Primer Infused Bronzer, like there's so many better things out there and you can save so much money. I think this is pretty. You can get a little heavy-handed with it. That's why this brush that I was just talking about is awesome with it. But even with this, I can get a little heavy-handed with it. I think it's good. I do think it lasts really well, but I just think for the price point, do you really need to spend it on this? No. If you're gonna go the Charlotte Tilbury route, I was gonna like dive into my favorites, but go check out that video if you're curious because there are definitely better things from the line that are worth the money. That maybe I can't actually find a drugstore dupe for. And this one I think is good, but I don't think you need to spend the money. It is a giant pan though, and in all fairness, the packaging, as usual, is stunning. I'm on like 3rd day dry shampooed hair, and it's just looking like a little wonkadonk, I feel like. I keep going back and forth with this, okay? This is the L'Oreal Gold Mirage Shadow. I was just saying how I really don't recommend it. Now, I will say this. I don't recommend going out and buying it because it's still ridiculously priced for this. But if you use it as a shadow topper, it can be very pretty. So that's what I did today. You know, it's got that beautiful glittery sheen. So does it work that way? Yeah. Can it be pretty? Sure. But do you really need to spend like, what is this, like $12.99 or something for a single shadow? I don't think so. It doesn't work well on its own, which is what I bought it for. I was hoping it'd be like a nice single shadow type look, and it really isn't. So just keep that in mind. I think if you already own it, definitely try it that way because it can look pretty. So next is this Drunk Elephant Chamele Cream Body Cleanser. This was sent to me in PR. I love Plenty from Drunk Elephant. This was just not one. This isn't as like crazily priced as like their skincare. This is a body cleanser. I think it's maybe around $20-ish, maybe a little bit more. Is that still expensive for a body wash? Yeah, but it's not as, you know, it's not like a $50, $60, $70 body wash. So I think it's just fine. I don't think it's bad. Would I ever spend my own money on this? No. I just wouldn't. I haven't noticed enough of a difference like in my skin and the way it looks, like to see if, well, maybe because it's got slightly better skincare in it that it'd be better. I don't notice a difference in the way my skin looks. I'm almost done with this. So something to keep in mind, it does smell really good though. And if you're just like a Drunk Elephant junkie and you're dying to try it, it's not bad. It suds up really well. It smells like amaretto. It smells so good, you guys. So it says it uses ultra mild surfactants while non-fragrant plant oils and skin restorative amino acids replenish and soothe, leaving behind a light layer of protective lipids infused with luxe fatty acid rich marula, sweet almond, there's that smell, maracuja oils, multi-amino acid blend. It calms while rinsing dirt and other substances away without stripping or disrupting your skin barrier. Also a slight annoyance, I don't know why, I don't like the packaging of this. It comes out just fine, but it's like a really small, thin stream. And I don't know why that bothers me, but it does. So just... So that's everything that I'm gonna share my speed review on today. I hope this was helpful. If you wanna check out my last speed review video, I do them like every other month, give or take, when I feel like I've got a handful of products that I have strong enough feelings about. But if you did enjoy, I would love it if you give it a thumbs up. I hope that you'll subscribe as well and join our happy little corner of the internet. I upload 3 videos a week. I do makeup and beauty, but I also do lifestyle and cooking and vlogs and stuff like that. So I will catch you guys in my next one. Bye.